Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chalavet Movies. My name is John and this video is going to be about a few things, but first I want to give a quick announcement to a live stream that's happening tonight on the channel Leon Talks Film. And Leon is doing his first ever live stream on his channel and he's invited me over to do the live stream with him, and it's going to happen at 7 o'clock tonight. So I'll leave a link down to this down below and also his channel, so you can get across there. If you want to ask Leon or myself any questions tonight, you're more than welcome to come along, and the more the merrier. And I'm really excited to talk to Leon because me and Leon have been very much close friends on YouTube for quite a while now, and it'd be going to be great to actually talk to Leon face to face, because we talk to each other all the time on YouTube and Instagram. But this is going to be something I've been really looking forward since Leon got in touch with me the other day and said, "I'd like to do it." And I said, would I not? So thanks very much, Leon, for inviting me on here. And if you could go over there, if you want to have a chat with either one of us, it would be much appreciated for you to just have a look across on this channel. And this is it's a great thing that's happening these days on YouTube, for these live chats to happen between channels. I find them very interesting to watch. I watch as many of them as I can myself, probably more on catch up than I do live. I do try to drop by live on and leave comments if I can. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, but anyway, if you've got the chance and you've got the time, and you're more than welcome to come over and drop us some comments and have a few chats, and we'll get some conversations going. So next, I've got some pickups. Now, these pickups were from a trip I had to HMV yesterday, and we started off, we weren't going to do anything actually, but we said to each other, what we're going to do today? Well, let's go to HMV, or let's go to town. Well, obviously, if I go to town, I go to HMV and CEX. Now, for some reason in Newcastle, my two CEXs that I've got there have become really poor at the minute. I don't know if these things are affected because people are coming and buying everything in there, but I do find that they just don't seem to have much choice in there, in the Blu-ray section and the 4Ks as well. It's been a bit weird actually, because usually I can always pick up something, even if I can pick up something very cheap or something that you just don't see very often on the shelves, something maybe out of print. But there was nothing at all in the CEX. But anyway, I went down to HMV and I got some good stuff there. But first of all, I just want to talk about a pickup that I got the other day. Now I'm going to go back in time here a little bit, and I'm going to mention Leon again. Now, just as a sort of bit of a follow-up to something that Leon sent me on subscriber mail, which is the amazing Young Master set from 88 Films, probably one of the best sets I've seen of a Jackie Chan film, if I'm honest. I was so pleased to pick that up, so thanks again, Leon, for doing that for me. So what I did, I compared this to the previous DVD version from Hong Kong Legends, and I've got to say, although this is not a bad version and it's got some good special features on it, it's a pale comparison to this, because it's obviously they've done some work on this. I know it is a 2K remaster, but it's absolutely phenomenal compared to this one. So I was really interested to see if they had put their work into this thing, and I can honestly say that it's night and day actually. And speaking of which, that leads me on to my next purchase that I got from Amazon that I haven't talked about yet. And it is what I consider to be one of Jackie Chan's best traditional martial arts films. It is Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. Now this movie here, I've done another comparison, and is it a 2K remaster? I don't know if it says it on here. It probably does, but I can't see it because it's that fine, the print. I compared it to the Hong Kong Legends Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. Now this one was always a bad, everyone knew that this one was a horrendous release. It wasn't in its proper scope. This is obviously 235. This one is in a sort of pan and scan 1.185 thing. It's abysmal really. The quality of it is absolutely terrible. Now the weird thing is, this is an 18 certificate and this is a 12 certificate. So that's a massive markdown of certificates. That doesn't usually happen that much. Maybe 18s go to 15 because time moves on. Maybe I don't think they go the other way. But anyway, everyone knows that there's some animal cruelty in this film. It was filmed, and I think there's a few of the Jackie Chan or older Hong Kong Kung Fu films. Try saying that after 10 pints. And they've obviously been cut out, and I'm more than happy to see that gone. It doesn't bring anything to the movie at all. But I'm not going to watch this one, but I don't know if this one has got maybe more of the actual scene that they cut out. I don't think they would show the full scene, but they might show bits of it. This one might have the scene cut out in its entirety, I think. I don't know. But this one, literally, everyone knew this was bad when it came out. It was one of the worst sort of Jackie Chan DVDs you could buy. This one here is just, again, it's absolutely stunning. It's got reversible art again, which is, you know, it's just absolutely brilliant. And what I'm going to do now is myself, I'm not going to break the bank on this one. I'm going to try and get some more of Jackie Chan's earlier films from '88 that are going to release. I love these slipcovers. They're just absolutely brilliant. And also, weirdly enough, I got this one a while ago, The Protector, which isn't one of the, you wouldn't say this is a traditional martial arts, it's more like a cop thriller thing. And this has got, I didn't realise that this artwork was done by this fella, which I'm really, what's his name again? I keep forgetting. So the artist who does this is Kung Fu Bob O'Brien. I didn't realise that he had done this, because when I looked at this one, I didn't think too much of it. But when I'm starting to see more of his work, I'm thinking, wow, I'm so glad I got this one. And to be honest, I do prefer the other cover on this, weirdly enough. This is the classic one that was on the pre-cert, or not the pre-cert, but the original VHS. And it's a great cover, although it's not very it doesn't really sort of represent the film that much. But anyway, I think we're just trying to do it for marketing purposes. And so yes, so these Jackie Chan films, I think I'm going to start collecting them a little bit more. If they're sensible prices, get in, that's great. If they're not, then I'm not going to go that way. So getting back to HMV, went there yesterday, had a bit of mooch around. I did all my usual air haunts. I went up and down. The Criterion sale's gone off now, so I didn't go near any Criterions because I didn't want to pay full price for them. Also, I went back to the Arrow section, and I've been looking for a few titles in the Arrow collection in sale. And the two ones that I want, Candyman and also People Under the Stairs, which is two movies that people talk about and rave about on YouTube, are two films I must admit I did not like back in the day. I watched them and I was very sort of didn't think anything of them at all. But I'm revisiting some of these old films that I maybe didn't get the first time round, or didn't give it a fair crack of the whip, or I didn't really see them at the right time. They're two films I wanted to get in the sale, but of course they weren't there. Everything you want in the sale is not there. But there's two films that were in the sale that I did want to get. And the first one I got was Why Don't You Just Die? Now, I do know a little bit about this film. It's meant to be brutal. It's meant to be maybe like a sort of dark comedy. Love the title of it. I know it's, I'm going to say it's Russian, I believe. But really interested to see this film. And as for $7.99, these ones I see from Arrow from $7.99. It's a no-brainer to get these titles. I do think that they do release some good titles that maybe don't get released by anybody else, which I really appreciate that, because you want to be sort of have your taste broadened a bit. But the sale itself seems to be going on forever, which is great. So if you're still in HMV at the minute, get yourself down there and maybe you can pick up some titles. These ones are ones that I probably would have paid full price for this, maybe. But there's a lot here that you go for and you wouldn't really want to pay full price for, because you're kind of getting ones that you're a little bit unsure about. So I got that for $7.99. Then I'll get another one that I've heard a lot of people talking about in very positive ways, and obviously saying that it's a little bit strange, and I do like the premise behind it when I've heard about it, and I do know it's going to be a bit of a wild watch, and it is Climax. Now, I don't know too much about it. I do know that apparently it's a party or a rave, and everyone's drink gets spiked and they go insane and do crazy stuff. That really appeals to me. I love stuff like that. So apart from that, I don't really know anything about it. I don't know, it's quite a new film, but yeah, so for $7.99, it's another one you just say no brainer, I'll go for it. And you know, if you don't like it and you sell it on eBay, you're probably going to sell it for the same price anyway, so why not? So next I went across to the 4K section, and there wasn't that many deals on, but there was a good deal on actually, and I thought, right. Now, I've got a very funny relationship with this franchise. I went from, when I've been a young person, think this is the best thing I've ever seen, my favourite film of all time, probably at that time. I got so into it, bought loads of toys to do with it, got sticker books, everything you can think about. I was mad about this franchise. And that continued on, and probably until the third film came out, and I was a little bit, it's all right, it's finished, it's not as good as the other two. And then it went dormant for quite a while. It came back. The first one, when it came back, I thought, this is amazing. Then I kind of fell madly out of love with this franchise, and the other two that came out in the next section, I was like, they're all right, but it's not that great. But my son got into it, so he used to watch them all the time, even though the second one I didn't like at all, on the second lot. Now, the new lot that's came out, the new three, they are, to a certain extent, they're all right, but they're not that great. So I've got a very kind of, so I wouldn't say it's a love-hate relationship with this, but it's one of them ones where if the full set came out, which it has done, you would think it would be a day one purchase for me. Back in the day when it came out in 1977, I would have thought myself, way down the line, if I can get all of the films of these, I would be in heaven. I would get the best one you can do. But sadly, that's the whole franchise, I think, has been a little bit watered down in the way that it's been presented over the years. Coming from somebody who was there when this thing exploded, and I mean, if you weren't there, you don't know, that's the classic saying, but honestly, the world was overtaken by this movie. And of course, if you haven't worked it out, I'm talking about Star Wars, aren't I? Now, this is my DVD box set of Star Wars. Now, this contains the first, well, we're going to go all of the prequels and the original films. I'm not going to get into the whole what came first or whatever like that, but this is going to do it for me. This box set is amazing, and to be honest, have I watched it? No, I haven't. I've had it for yonks, never watched it, because I'm always putting it off to say, right, we're going to do it this time, we're going to watch the whole lot, and then we'll get it, and then we'll just get maybe 2 into it, and we don't really get that much further. So of course they've come out to 4K, haven't they? Now, I know there's not problems with the 4K, but not all of them are great. Not all of them warrant 4K. Not all of them are a uptick from the original Blu-rays. But these ones I picked up, I think, are the best ones, are the only ones I'm going to get on 4K. Now, so I've got these ones here. I've also got, obviously, the last 3 on Blu-ray. I'm going to keep the last 3 on Blu-ray. I think they're not great. They're all right. I don't think that I need to spend a huge amount of money upgrading them on 4K, because they'll probably look more or less the same. And to be honest, they're not my favourite films in it. This one's all right. The second one is, The Last Jedi is a little bit what? And whatever the last one's called, The Rise of Skywalker, I don't know. I watched it at the cinema, and I was very nonplussed by it, although my wife liked it. So anyway, the short story is we're going to go through and watch the whole lot again. That's what we keep saying, but we're definitely going to do it this time round. So, getting back to what I got. So then I went across to the 4K section and saw this deal on. So I thought, right, now I'm just going to get these ones. These are the only ones I'm going to get in 4K. So these ones here are going to be 4K. The other ones are going to be in Blu-ray, and then that's my Star Wars collection complete. I don't need to go for any massive box sets. I don't need to go for any brand new 4Ks. I know that some people don't like the fact they're being tinkered with, but unfortunately, as Lucas does, he seems to just mess with everything he does, which I do think there should be the original versions. I would love to see the original version on 4K. It's probably not going to happen, so I'm not going to beat myself up about it and say, or make a stance and say, oh, I'm not getting them. It is what it is. They are all right. The tinkering is not to my I did think it was okay when it first came out, when I saw it at the cinema when they'd done the remastered versions, which, funny enough, they had a really terrible print on it at the cinema, which is a bit odd, but never mind. So these are the ones I picked up on 4K. Now they're supposed to be $19.99 or $14.99, and so I got Star Wars. Now, Star Wars is always called, in these days, it's called A New Hope. I don't call it A New Hope, I call it Star Wars, because that's what the film is. I'm not going to be one of these people who are going to bang on about anything to do with Star Wars and lore and all that type of stuff. But I do think it was always called Star Wars to me. I saw Star Wars at the cinema. I didn't see Star Wars A New Hope. I do think it's a bit of a strange title to sort of tag on after. It's always, everything's getting messed about with. This just is Star Wars to me. I've checked these out very quickly, and they do look an uptick on the Blu-rays, and that's all I really wanted anyway. The sound actually is really nice on them. So these are the ones and I do think it's got a nice spot gloss in there, but I do think they're a little bit lazy, if I can say that. I do think they could have done a bit more of a spectacular picture on the front, and also if they put the original full, if they put the full slip on as the original cover art, it would have been amazing. That would have been the best way they could have done it for me. And also I'm really surprised that the original trilogy are used, because sometimes there's a little bit, well, not brutality, but there's a little bit of you know, stuff that maybe a U is a little bit extreme for you. So I obviously got The Empire Strikes Back as well. I do think Star Wars looked better than The Empire Strikes Back, if I'm honest. But I'm interested to go. As you see, I used to watch these all the time. Now, when these other films came out, well, the prequels came out, I started to tail off massively from Star Wars, and I only watched them every now and again. But I'm going to go back to these and just put my sort of reservations on all of the films to one side and just enjoy them for what they are. So The Empire Strikes Back. Then, obviously, I got The Return of the Jedi, which I do think is the weakest out of the trilogy. I think the end of it is a little bit kind of, it goes a little bit more like childish than I would have liked it to be, but never mind. And it's a good saga. I know it's been tinkered with, but it is what it is. You can't do anything about it at this point. So for $14.99, this is a pretty good deal. I've got to admit, it didn't break the bank. I wouldn't have liked to broke the bank with these ones, because I've bought them 1,000 times. I've got DVDs, VHS, loads of different versions of VHS. It's just ridiculous how many times Lucas has got my money, but never mind. That's all water under the bridge. But the Star Wars franchise for me is a good franchise, but it's also a strange one in my reckoning. For if it didn't get messed about as much with, I think I would have enjoyed it a bit more, or been a bit more lenient with. I get very critical of these films from time to time. Not the first three. So The Return of the Jedi. So the last one I'm going to get, and I'm not going to get any more 4Ks apart from this, is the only one that I kind of really do like when it came back out again, and it is Rogue One. Now, this one's a really good movie, and also it's got Donnie Yen in it, which anything with Donnie Yen works for me really well. And this looks really nice, and I got to admit, Return of the Jedi looks pretty good. I think Star Wars looks the best for me on my setup, and also this one looks incredible. And so that's a short, long story of saying what I would get in the way of Star Wars. This is my Star Wars 4K collection. It will never alter from this. I will never get the other ones. When I say never, if they were absolutely cheap as chips with slips, that's a good little saying there, I would probably pick them up. But at this point, I'm more than happy to have them, and I can say with that and my other sort of Star Wars entries, that's me done with Star Wars. But I'm going to watch them, and I'm going to rank them, and probably put a video out sometime this year to say this is what we think of these films. But of course, I've got to watch them all again, haven't I? So also on this video, I'd like to do a few shout-outs. So the first channel I give a shout out to is Jim Jam Movies and TV. Now this channel is run by James Millership, and James is well known, I would say, on Big Paulie's Facebook page, and he does set off daily questions, and he's got some great knowledge on movies in general. And his questions sometimes are quite hard. I remember, I think it was his second quiz that he was on Geordie Paul's channel, link down below. He had put some questions out there, and to be honest, I'd watched on catch up, and I watched this channel, questions, and I think the first 10 questions I didn't know any of them. And I remember that everybody was scratching their head for the questions on here. It was quite funny actually. So, but James, like I say, he's just starting out, and I'd urge you to go across, check out his channel, give him a subscribe. He's got a lot of passion involved into this channel. So that's Jim Jam Movies and TV, run by James Millership. The next one I'd like to give a shout out to is another channel that I've just come across recently, and it's Simon Michael Davies. Now this is another channel I'm just getting into. He seems to be just starting out on his YouTube journey, and he's putting a load of stuff on, and I'm quite interested in the stuff that he's got. So like I say, I've just really started following him in the last couple of days, but it's one of those channels where you see and you think, wow, I think I'm going to investigate more on that. I think I saw his channel on Big Paulie again, so that's another thing to say when if you're starting out a channel. Put this sort of network a bit on Facebook, and you will sort of get your profile a bit more. And I might not have known about this channel for a while, and I'm just so glad I'm bumping into these channels now. So that's Simon Michael Davies. So the next shout out is to a channel, PlaytendoGuy. Great name. And it's another channel I've just come across very recently, and I'm very interested again into this this stuff that's there. It seems to be a lot of videos there that would be right up my alley. So this Pete here from PlaytendoGuy has got an excellent delivery on his videos, and I do see him quite a lot on live streams as well. So he's somebody who's very active in the community as well. So that's great. So that's PlaytendoGuy. So the last shout out I'd like to give is to a channel, Forgotten World of Movies. Now I've literally just got into this channel, and I've noticed that this guy has got a massive amount of stuff on his shelves. I can't wait to start looking through his shelves. As you do, you go and have a bit mooch and see what's on there, because sometimes people have some really excellent stuff on the shelves, stuff that you're kind of interested in, or it's a little bit when you used to look through somebody's record collection, you would kind of know instantly if they're on your wavelength and things like that. I think shelving with movies on is exactly the same thing. It's like a modern day equivalent. So that's Forgotten World of Movies. So if you can get over to his channel, maybe check it out, give him a subscribe, and bring him into this community. And this community is great for helping people to progress. And when you sort of get on that ladder and you see yourself getting involved in the group, you do sort of think you feel a bit guided, for want of a better word, through the early stages of your journey through YouTube. And I think once you connect with this community, it does sort of make you want to go on a bit further, and you might find your mark or wherever you're going to go with it. So that's Forgotten World of Movies, and that's my shout outs for today. So thanks once again for watching this video. It was going to be a short video, but I don't know how long this is going to be when I edit it. It's nearly gone to 40 minutes now, and I was only going to come on for a simple 5-minute video. Never mind. So if you want to go over to the live stream tonight, or you want to watch it on catch up in the future, the links will be down below. So okay, I might see you tonight on the live stream, which is going to be out on 7 o'clock on Leon Talks Film channel. I'm going to leave a link down to that below. If you're watching this in the future, I will leave a link down to what actually happened on that video down below. So thanks once again for watching. Please do check them channels out, and you take care, and I will see you either tonight or on the next video. Cheers.